Hey guys, so Caroline has joined me again today, and we're going to be playing a game called Desktop Shuffleboard, and it's a measurement game. So since it is a measurement game, you're going to need a measuring tool. So we're going to use our inch ruler. So make sure when you take your measurements today that you are using the inch side. Each player needs a card. Just one card. You don't have to have the whole deck. Just take one card out of it. You can choose a card. I just randomly pulled a card out of there to use. You're going to need a piece of paper that you divided in half for player 1 and player 2 because you are going to be playing against one another. And of course you'll need something to write down your measurements with. So to get us started, Caroline's going to go first. What we've done here is we've set up our shuffleboard. I'm using a whiteboard, but you can use a piece of paper, a construction paper. You could even take the plastic sheet that your game is in. Okay, you could even use the back of it and use that plastic as your game board. And then we've labeled it. We've labeled a start line and a finish line, and in your directions you'll see that and how it's labeled. And when I show you the game board, when I show you how Caroline is measuring to find her distance, then you'll be able to see how we've labeled a start side and a finish side. So what you're going to be doing is you'll place, whoever player 1 is, will place their card on the very edge of the start side of the game board. And then that player 1 is going to gently push that card as far as they can get it to go. Once the card stops moving, then you're going to use your ruler to measure the distance from the finish line to the edge of the card. So we're not measuring how far the card is moving, we're measuring the distance from the finish line to the edge of the card. So Caroline, I have put my ruler, I've put the 0 end near the edge of the finish line, and you're going to tell me what is my measurement to the edge of my card.
6 inches and
just 6.
Yeah, 6 inches.
So, and we're just going to measure to the nearest inch. So I'm going to flip this around and let you take a look at her measurement. I can figure out how to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm not going to flip it around. But let's see if I can show you. All right, so here we go. Okay, so there's my finish line, and she looked at my ruler and she says the measurement is 6 inches. We both agree that the measurement from the finish line to the edge of the card is 6 inches. So she is going to help me out and record 6 inches as my first measurement. And she's using the units inches, and she used an abbreviation for inches. So sometimes we write down the whole word, I-N-C-H-E-S, and sometimes we'll just use an abbreviation, which is a shortened, usually just 2 letters. So I-N is the shortened version of the word inches. It's an abbreviation. So then Caroline's going to take a turn. Again, I'll take my card. This is my card. I'm taking it off of the game board. She's putting hers on. And she's going to push the card as far across, push it and see how far she can get it to go. Okay. So it stopped right there. And now she's going to put the 0 end of the ruler at the finish line.
It's about 5.5 inches.
Okay, and I'm going to take a look at it, and I see that it's about 5.5 inches. So her first recording is going to be 5.5 inches from the finish line. Who's closer to the finish line? If you look at your measurements, I was 6 inches away from the finish line, and she was 5.5 inches away from the finish line. So I think she is closer to the finish line. Her card went farther. So you're going to continue. She'll take her card off. I'll put mine back on, and I will push it again. Okay. So this time I push a little harder. what do you think, about 3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm about 3.5 inches from the finish line. And then I'm going to take off my card, and she's going to start at the finish line again, or start the start line. She's going to push her card. Okay, and then take a measurement from the finish line, 0 at the finish line.
4.5.
This time she was 4.5 inches from the finish line. So you'll continue until you've done about 10 turns. After you've done 10 turns, what you're going to do is add up the numbers on your, but player 1 will add up their numbers, and player 2 will add up their measurement numbers, and whoever has the lowest or the smallest sum wins the game. So Caroline, let's take a moment really quick and let's just add up our numbers.
6 and 3 is 9, and 1/2 is 9.5.
Okay.
So she got 9.5 inches, and I had 5 inches and 4 inches is 9 inches, and 2 halves make a whole, so I had 10 inches.
So Caroline's total was 10 inches. Miss Van Hook's total was 9.5 inches. So for this game, I win. Now, what if when you push your card, it falls off the board? So if you push your card and it falls off the board, then that player has to add the following penalty. So you'd have to add 10 inches. So you got to keep your card on the board. It can't go off. If you wanted to switch this game up and do metric units and use the centimeter side, which would make it even more fun, the penalty for centimeters is add 25. So have fun with this. Use both units of measure. Work in your standard units using inches, or your customary units. Inches is what we usually use, but also use your metric units and gain some experience in both. Have fun practicing. Have fun practicing using addition, and keep on measuring.